How do and how are you? And welcome to an honest but yet shaky review. Gender imbalance in the workplace. How does it affect the sexes? Without further ado, let's have a look and have a listen.
From the moment we first go to school, we're introduced to being part of a group. It's the way we solve problems in the classroom, the boardroom, just about every facet of life. But now researchers at Virginia Tech are saying for women, that group setting may not be that great. We are women. Hear us roar. Unless we have to speak up in a meeting. And then, for some of us, it's... At the start of her career in investment banking, a field traditionally dominated by males, Joanna Stone Herman says she knew that fear all too well.
It can, at times, be intimidating to sit in a room full of men and have to voice your opinion, especially when many men can be very vociferous. And just getting a breath in edgewise to be able to speak can be challenging.
In 2012, women have the smarts, the schooling, the experience, but often not the courage to voice their views. From classrooms to boardrooms, when we have to speak up, sometimes we shut down. Scientists at the Virginia Tech Carilion Research Institute decided to study the phenomenon and discovered it's all in our heads, literally.
We wanted to study the impact of social rank in a small group on your ability to solve problems.
The researchers gave a group of men and women with similar baseline IQs a set of questions to answer. In the middle of the test, they were told how well they did compared to the rest of the group. And then their IQs were measured again. The findings were startling.
In a social setting, some of the people's IQ goes down, and of the ones that go down, over 80% of them are women.
Bottom line, the study showed that for some, particularly women, if we think others in a group are smarter, we become, well, dumber. And in the real world, where key business decisions are often made in small group settings just like this, a lot of good ideas may not be getting heard.
The way we organize our business is completely built around small groups, but in fact, maybe in some settings, that damages the performance of the group in ways that you don't want to damage it.
Now, speaking from experience, I used to work in an environment which was mainly dominated and occupied by females. Sometimes I was the only male in the working environment. And I will tell you, it is intimidating, it is nerve-wracking, and it is at times very, very uncomfortable. In other words, if you are the only male in that environment, women tend to look at you more. They scrutinize you more. In a sense, if you are not tall enough, if you are not attractive enough, if you are not humorous enough, they almost tend to treat you as if like you're subhuman. Why is that? I will tell you that in some ways it was very rewarding, but in a lot of ways it was disheartening and it was disappointing. And it's a real shame, because a lot of these women were very attractive, very intelligent, but still, having said that, I quit my job. And what I found fascinating was their lack of empathy, their lack of understanding. If they see a male that's being exploited or abused or harassed, they just shut down. They don't say anything. They don't do anything. And sometimes they were very, very hostile to me. They would, for example, gossip. They would get angry. Why is that? Ladies, you have made great strides in education and economics, but there are some things that you still lack. What an individual, especially a male, is in this kind of setting, you almost sap his morale, his positive self-image of himself. And to me, it is like robbery. And you just don't say anything or don't do anything. I find that surprising, because females are supposed to be emotional creatures. They are supposed to be more, what's the words, kinder, gentler, more sensitive. I didn't experience that, and it is a disappointment. One more thing. As you're watching this video, how many people are going to watch it? Employers, I would like you to take note of something. When you abuse an employee, it could be male, it could be female, and fellow employers and employees that I work with. When a person is mistreated, he goes in private and tells 3 or 4 friends. But this is the age of the internet, where people have an image and have a voice. They go and they make a video, and 20, 30, 40, 100,000 or 1,000,000 people can see it. So, ladies, please take note. In this kind of environment, men have feelings. They feel vulnerable. Believe it or not, most of the understanding and empathy I got was from another fellow male. And he was a very highly placed individual in this environment. Isn't that interesting? Oh well, I'm just sharing my experience with you. Thank you very much for listening.